I think so many of us are in between the lines. We don't fit in anywhere. We're kind of a combination of many things, and I think religiously, the same thing. We all believe in something. And many of us, I'm sure, maybe are not sure what's out there. So a particular religion may kind of fit you, you know, as a personality. It might have a way of doing things that fits your personality. But I think things are moving in a direction where we're getting more open, more expansive, more forgiving, more empathetic. We're moving from a point of view to a viewing point where we see the larger picture. And I think we're starting to realize that we all are maybe more in agreement in things than we are in disagreement. And instead of focusing on what we disagree on, we start coming together and working together instead of trying to be right about things. You ever try to be right in a relationship? It never works. So that's what I
You see, you're annoyed that I referred to you, but you didn't let me down. I said you were annoyed that I referred to you, but you didn't let me down. Kate, your answer earlier reminded me of a conversation we had earlier today about what it's like to be the outsider to come into a tightly knit ensemble cast. But it sounds like, at least on Battlestar, that you were embraced pretty readily by the cast. Talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, that's the amazing thing about the chemistry and the energy of this group of beautiful people. It was almost like we've all been together in past lives before, and we all got together in this one going, hey, you again. So, you know,
All this has happened before.
My first, what?
All this has happened before.
This happened, my first day on the set, not when I worked, but when I went to visit to meet Eddie for the first time, I had no idea what I was stepping into, and I'm walking on the lot, and this car is pulling up in front of me, and Mary's sitting in the car, and I see her profile, and then she turns and goes, hi, welcome! And she's floating by, and I'm like, that was Mary McDonnell. Nice! And then I'm like, oh, wow. And then I turn the corner, and the lunch is set up over here, and I see Eddie, and he's not in his uniform. He's just wearing a black cashmere sweater, and he looks really good in jeans and the whole thing. And I see him from behind, and he turns, and he sees me, and his whole face lights up. And I realize he's looking at me, and then his arms float open. And I'm like, oh my God. So I float over to Eddie. I'm gonna cry. I told you I'm a leaker. So I float over to Eddie. Oh my God. And he gives me a big hug and he says, wait for it. Welcome aboard.
There's a long story attached to that, what she just said, that's really amazing. I don't know if there's time for it, but she had no idea what you were getting yourself into, right? When you cast and read for that role. And then when you showed up and saw all these amazing actors as part of this production, you thought, oh my God,
I really didn't know Mary was on the show, and I didn't know Eddie was on the show. I didn't know anything. I got the job so fast, and it all came together in this moment. And I just thought, wow, you know, everybody was just smiling. I don't know how lovely. And me, you know, and Eddie, and it's like me, you know, it was just incredible.
And the caterers that she was driven by were with us the whole time, and they were 5-star caterers. Really, you'd love to bring people on the set. It was amazing.
The food was worth coming back for. But I mean, all my scenes were with Michael, and how lucky, I mean, being a complete outsider stepping into this, and I was brought in as a foil of some kind, and I didn't know what or why, and Ron didn't tell me anything. And the less I knew, the better. Am I silent? Am I not? All I could do was play the scenes and my relationships and what I wanted, and how I felt about things. And then I'm able to respond. And let me tell you, he made my life so easy, because all I had to do was show up and be open to this chemistry that was everything that life is between two people. I mean, we were cantankerous, we were angry, we were silly, we were sexy, we were impartial to one another, we fought. I mean, it was like everything, and he was completely available to play full on, and just made coming to work every day a total pleasure.
I think that I think we sort of sound like a broken record, because all of us, and the rest of the cast that isn't here too, we all talk about the supportive environment and the family environment, and it really does stem from the top. And when we all started the job, Eddie and Mary and Hogan and everybody, it was just, not that I was that young, but I was new, and you learn from that, and you see the passion of the people that have been in the business for many years, and how passionate they were and how much they brought to the job, and it made everybody step up their game and learn. And so we sound like broken records, but I have to say, so many times you'll go to work, especially, I've done a lot of guest roles, and you go, and sometimes you have great experiences, and sometimes the lead actors won't even talk to you, or they'll do not even just a guest role, but I've had jobs where it's not that fun, because they'll do their coverage, and then they'll be looking off this way when in your coverage, or they won't even be there, or whatever. And we had such a different experience. And I remember when Caprica 6 and Hogan and Tigh were having the baby, and Ellen was in the room, and this is when she miscarried. And the director is doing the scene, and we're doing the big wide. And I'm laying on the bed, and I want to stay on the bed in between, because I've got this pregnant belly, and it was kind of fragile, and didn't want to move around a lot. And I also wanted to stay kind of in the emotion of it. And I remember Michael looking at me and going, and I heard him, I was trying to knock out all the lights being changed, and the director wanted to change to do a different angle, one of your coverages. And I heard Michael go over to the director and say, "No, you're doing Tricia's coverage now." Because he saw me, and he saw the emotion in me, and I was trying to contain it and save it for my coverage, but I was just there, and I was crying on the table, and I was trying, was miscarrying my baby, and that Caprica wanted so much. And that's what the supportive environment was. Like, the director hadn't seen it, but Michael saw it, and he says, "No, Tricia's ready, we're doing her coverage now." And that was whipped around so fast, the camera was on me, and I got my scene that I was, I got my take that I was proud of. And that's because you saw it, and that's what working with people lets you grow.
No, we're all gonna cry.
The lights are up. Thanks.
Everyone was generous. I mean, all the actors were generous with one another. There were no big egos, no piggy actors. Everybody was really showing up for everybody.
I have been given the word that we are done. So, Mary.
Save